How's it going, everyone? Want to take you guys through some awesome PlayStation game deals. Mostly, it's just the Black Friday deals are back, and that's what you see a lot during the holiday season, is the Black Friday deals are obviously great, and you have all of the deals at like one spot, or I should say at like one time, but generally throughout the next month and a half post-Black Friday, you'll see those deals trickle back in, and that's what we got. At least we got some of those deals trickling back in, and I thought I would give them a mention. Particularly, a lot of the great Sega titles are discounted once again, and given that, let's be honest, if you look at Sega, I don't agree with a lot of their, business practices, New Game Plus, locked behind digital deluxe editions, and $100 Persona 3 Reload Ultimate Editions without the expansion included, so on and so forth. They've had a pretty stellar last year or so, and even beyond that, they've been one of the premier publishers, and their games going on sale obviously is gonna lead me to recommending a lot of stuff. So we'll talk all about that, and we've got a couple of other deals to quickly note as well. But right off the bat, y'all know I love me my JRPG, so gotta give a shout to Persona 3 Reload, which is down to $25. This is one of those games that did have that $100 Ultimate Edition. No episode Aegis in there as well, but man, Persona 3 Reload was a fantastic game, and it's a game that I certainly recommend everybody to check out. It's a fantastic, fantastic game, and a ground-up remake of Persona 3, which was the Persona game. Like, a lot of people consider Persona, it kicked off with Persona 3, much like Fallout. But yeah, Persona 3 is an iconic game on the PS2. I don't really get into the arguments on which Persona game is the best, because I feel like they're all at such a high level, and I have friends that are of the hardcore, Persona fandom, and it seems like I just hear all of them all the time. Like, somebody will like P3, P4, P5. I'm sure it'll continue when P6 comes out as well. It's just one of the most consistent franchises in all of gaming. I just hope with P6 they do shift away from the high school setting. I just think they could do a college setting and it would be fine, but, that's a very, very minor complaint. Overall, Persona 3 Reload, great game. $25 is obviously a great pickup. I know some people had a little bit of an issue with the original $70 price tag. I didn't, given how many hours of gameplay you get. I did have an issue with the $100 not including, the $100 edition not including episode Aegis, but what can you do? Next up, want to give a shout to Unicorn Overlord as well, 50% off for $29.99. Man, is this one of the most underrated games of 2024 or what? It came out just a couple weeks after Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which I think was ultimately an issue, but, this was a game that was always going to target a more niche audience than FF7 Rebirth, and it still sold fairly well by, whatever their expectations were. Like, the numbers I saw were pretty decent, but still, not enough people have played it. Unicorn Overlord is done by Vanillaware, the developers that have done some fantastic games, including 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, Muramasa the Demon's Blade, Odin Sphere, and Dragon's Crown. And I feel like with 13 Sentinels, after the release of that, their narrative telling and their storytelling has gotten so much better, because while I wouldn't say Unicorn Overlord is just as good as 13 Sentinels from a story standpoint, it's still incredibly well written from a narrative standpoint, albeit a bit predictable, but overall fairly well done. And I think for $30, this is a great pickup, more of a tactics-oriented game. And it is interesting with Vanillaware, they have a lot of their essence in all of their games, the presentation, the soundtrack, the design. However, the fundamental gameplay seems to change from game to game. You got beat-em-ups, then you've got, more of a tactics, real-time strategy kind of game with 13 Sentinels as far as its gameplay is oriented, and then Unicorn Overlord. And thematically, they're also different as well. 13 Sentinels being more of a time travel game, but I digress. Unicorn Overlord is excellent. $30 is a great price, so definitely do pick that up. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is $25. Tremendous, tremendous deal. In my opinion, it is one of the front runners for Game of the Year. I just had a feeling that it wasn't going to be a contender for Game of the Year. I don't know. It's games like this that are part of a long-running franchise that I just feel like are kind of in a placeholder kind of area where the people that are into these games are really into them, but then they don't get a lot more attention outside of that. I don't feel like a Dragon is getting a lot of newcomers in, at least not in droves. I think there's still room to grow as far as that's concerned. I just think for a lot of it, it's daunting to get into this franchise because people want to play the game sequentially, and I totally understand with Infinite Wealth, you should certainly play Yakuza Like a Dragon, but man, Infinite Wealth was such a good game. While I don't think it's narratively as good as Yakuza Like a Dragon, I do think they developed the gameplay quite a lot, and There's so much depth to this game, it's kind of insane. Like, there's a component to this game that's kind of just like an Animal Crossing gimmick and an island building gimmick, and you can spend Dondoko Island is what it's called, and you can spend hours upon hours in that section of the game, and it's something I barely even scratched the surface of just because it's not my cup of tea. But guess what? The rest of the game was my cup of tea, so there's so much variety in the content. You don't have to dabble into all of it, but even if you dabble into some of it, you are more than getting your money's worth. And yeah, kind of a swan song for Kiryu as well. $25 here for Infinite Wealth, great deal there. Next up, we got Sonic Frontiers. It is down to $18. Sonic the Hedgehog Movie 3 is coming out here in the very near future, I believe just a couple weeks away, right? And yeah, Frontiers is one of those games that was egregiously overpriced on the PlayStation Store, which is unfortunate whenever that happens. It is half the price of the price it was at on the PlayStation Store during the Black Friday sale here, $18 versus $36 on the PS Store. Sonic Frontiers I thought was absolutely awesome, and given that Sonic is getting annualized as a franchise, we got Sonic Superstars last year, Sonic Generations this year. Is a Frontiers 2 happening next year? I don't know, but it will eventually happen, whatever they decide to call the game, and I think it'll be quite the standout. And yeah, Frontiers I thought was great. Phenomenal soundtrack. Bro, Sonic is just one of those franchises that Sonic should not have this good of a soundtrack. Like, soundtracks in Sonic games are too good for the quality level of Sonic. And I'm not even trying to put down Sonic. I love the Sonic games, but the soundtracks are just like the most banger soundtracks ever. And Frontiers' soundtrack is absolutely awesome. So definitely do recommend that. So $18 for that is great. Final Fantasy 1 through Final Fantasy 6 Collection Anniversary Edition. It's 25% off for $56. Not a steep discount on this, but this release did recently happen, so, you know, from that standpoint, it is a pretty good deal. You know, $56, I think it's a pretty good pickup, given you get FF1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The Pixel Remasters. FF4 is one of my favorite Final Fantasies. I know people love 6 as well, but yeah, $56 on that. I should also note, Yakuza Like a Dragon is down to $11.99, so if you just want to pick up Yakuza Like a Dragon, this is the PS4 copy, upgrades to the PS5 version. It's great, and you can play Yakuza Like a Dragon without playing the other Yakuza titles. Would it be beneficial if you played Yakuza 0, Kiwami, up to Yakuza 6? Sure, but you could jump into Like a Dragon given that it stars a new character. It's Ichiban's story, and it's a really, really well done narrative. I think as far as RGG narratives go, it's Yakuza Like a Dragon and Judgment 1A, 1B, in my opinion. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown down to $15, lowest price in 30 days as noted on Amazon. Yeah, great deal. A game that got done absolutely dirty by Ubisoft. If you want a example of how to not promote a video game, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, maybe that. It's like this and Concord are probably the two most glaring examples. If you want to look at a new IP, you look at Concord. If you want to look at a way to butcher an existing IP in terms of promotion, not the game itself, promotion, you look at Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. That debut trailer, go pull it up on YouTube and read through the comments section. How do you butcher the revelation of a new Prince of Persia game? How are you this out of touch where you just market the game is so incompetently? It is an instance of Ubisoft has only themselves to blame, because the developers did a great job with Lost Crown, and it is a legitimately good action Metroidvania title. Decent visuals, good soundtrack, slick presentation. You know, ultimately the game turned out well, and yeah, just from a marketing standpoint, it is so bad. I know I talk about the promotional aspect of gaming a lot on this channel, which isn't an aspect a lot of people talk about, but I just get infuriated when I see a situation like this where Lost Crown is received so well. And not to get on a tangent, Indiana Jones just came out. Looking at some of those numbers for that game, given how well it's been received, I feel like the promotion for that game wasn't that great either, and you know, that might be a tough pill for some people to swallow given how well that game is being received, and it seemingly is a great game. I plan to play it soon, but man, okay, tangent over. Lost Crown, they did it dirty. The game itself is great. $15, it's awesome, and I should just move on. Red Dead Redemption is down to $25. Look, the RDR1 had an egregious price point when it came out at $50. It is one of my favorite games of all time, so I let it slide in a lot of instances, but now at $25, I do think it's a pretty solid pickup. You get Undead Nightmare in there as well, which I do think is pretty solid. But that'll do it for me. My apologies on that tangent on Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Sometimes I just I just get in my feelings, and that did happen. But nevertheless, a lot of great deals across the board. So definitely check them out. Persona 3 Reload, Unicorn Overlord, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Sonic Frontiers. There's other Sega deals available. Demon Slayer, the Hinokami Chronicles is $25. There is a sequel of that just got revealed. I gotta catch up on Demon Slayer. I'm a season or two behind on that. I think they just did a mini season. Metaphor is on sale for $50 as well, so that's something to check out. But yeah, a lot of good deals across the board, and these are just duplicates of the Black Friday deals, but good stuff all around. That's gonna do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.